birthday. It was Sharon's birthday. He was really happy. Yeah, it's my birthday. I get money and stuff. And Santa's like, you know what? For my birthday, I'm gonna go swimming. And he did go swimming. We had a very fun time. A megalodon rose up from the shore and said, "Hey punk, give me your money or I'll finna rob you, cuz." And Santa's like, "Nah, it's my birthday, man. The only thing I'm giving you is kick to the head." So Sands went into the kick. What he got? Violently ate by the megalodon. And you know, Sans is not really having a good time due to being ate by the megalodon. So Sans is like, Papyrus, help me, my leg fell off. So then his brother, Papyrus, was like,
"Don't worry, brother. I will help you."
Sorry, just had to do my daily gooning. Alright, and he was like, he pried open the megalodon's jaw, and Sans, he tried to climb out, and he ended up pretty much doing so. Brother, I'm almost out, man. You gotta come save me.
And then Papyrus is like, "Yes, I will save you. Just give me time."
Papyrus's very saddening death somewhere in the lake. Sans is like, "Oh man, my brother's dead." Leaving all the fun to Steve to come and save him. But then all of a sudden, Steve became this guy, who is yet again Steve, but he's freaky. So he started tormenting Sans. "I'm gonna cuddle and kiss you at night, little boy," said Steve, because Herobrine was possessing him. And Herobrine's not a very nice guy until Sans was like, "Hey man," and he knocked him off with his big bow. Then he also drowned in the lake with Papyrus. Somehow he floats, but anyway, then the real Steve was like, that was not me," and then he got swallowed by the megalodon. And he was like, nope, I have no chance of getting saved. I kind of want to see my brother in the afterlife anyway. And then Steve proceeded to pop out the back of the megalodon, dead and floating too somehow. And then this guy was like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll save you," but then he ended up just drowning in the lake. So then the bird was like, "Oh yes, I will save you. Here." And then Weird Steve came out again, was like, "Hey buckaroo, I'm not dead yet." But then Godzilla was like, "Hey man, you're not very cool." And he got eaten by Godzilla and drowned in the lake with Papyrus. And then Godzilla was like, man, am I really that ugly? Yeah. Anyways, back to Sans and the bird. The bird was like, I got you, dude. And then the bird started using his awesome kung fu powers. And he soon then disintegrated the Megalodon with his awesome, super special kung fu power. And then the Megalodon said,
No, no, no! This did not go according to plan! I'm so sad! Yeah!
and then the Megalodon came on land. But don't worry, it was me to save the day. Just kidding. But this is the perspective of a guy who claims he could shoot laser eyes, and he goes Rah! To the Megalodon, making the Megalodon drown in the lake with Papyrus. The bird was like, this is the last good deed I wanted to do in my life. I'm pretty not happy with my life. And Sam was like, no man, don't do it, I'll be so sad you saved me. I already lost my brother today, and it's my birthday. Worst birthday ever. Nah, I really just saved you because I wanted to do one last good deed. I don't really care about you, dude. See you when you die, I guess. And Sans like, cool. And then he went back on land for him to pop his birthday balloon and say, man, this birthday kinda sucks, I'm gonna be honest. So then he started levitating and then murdering an innocent person for doing nothing, really. And then he was like, and, you know, Sans isn't really the type to do that. So he decided to calm himself down by getting a sweet new truck. Bought his sweet new car, and he wanted to give it a test drive. Godzilla's evil twin brother came in and said, oh no, little homie, you ain't gonna get that car. And then Godzilla was pretty much dead. So, as his evil brother absolutely murdered Sans, I stepped in and I said, hey, you're not being very friendly to my favorite character. And he's like, what? I thought I was your favorite. And I was like, nah, man, you're pretty mid. He was like, aw. So then, I proceeded to murder him. And then I checked for Sans in his new yellow car, but he wasn't there, so I threw away his car. Anyways, I went over to Sans as I saw him. Murdered a few people on the way. Dude, have you seen Sans? My absolute cool guy. He's like, nah, man. I'm pretty much dead. I died in a car crash. Look, I'm kind of decapitated right now. I was like, oh yeah, man, that's cool. So anyway, as I walked to Sans, okay, he did not respond. So I said, there's some hot skeleton babes around. He was like, hey, I'm single. And then he proceeded to go. So then I showed him a very cool dude that I think could replace his brother. He's like, no one can replace my bro. Why'd you have to remind me? And what'd you do to my car? I was like, nothing. Then he's like, no, I'm done. And then he went in the lake to, to join his brother Papyrus in the other world. And then this guy was like, dang, what did I do? And I was like, nothing, but I'm killing you anyway. So then he pretty much died, that guy. And then the real Papyrus came and was like,
Oh my god, what happened to my brother? No, I'm so depressed and lonely now.
I was like, don't worry, I'm God. So I summoned in a Sans, but this one was a bit too happy. So he was really energetic, right? He was kicking his brother around like,
Sans, this is not you!
and then his brother, died midair.
Brother, no! No! This cannot be happening!
And then he sought out on a journey to go find his brother in the afterlife. However, little did he know that that would end up killing him and an innocent person. And then Woody pulls up and he says, don't worry, I'm the true God. And I was like, no, you're not. And I was like, let me have my moment, sir. I was like, okay. So then Woody did some pretty cool magic. And he started evaporating. I was like, whoa, maybe he is the real God. Maybe I'm just a guy that has godlike powers. Then Woody proceeded to be like, I know how to bring back everyone that has died today. Which means everyone in the world. So he brought back literally pretty much everyone that died in the entire world, including me, even though I was resurrected. That means he also brought back some of these people, which means I'm unfortunately gonna have to murder them all once again. You know, it's really unfortunate. I didn't really want to have to do this today, but you know, a god is a god, and a god has to do what he has to do. So I killed all of them, right? And they all started ascending off to heaven. And Woody was like, no, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. I'm pretty bored. He was like, fine then. If you're gonna kill all my people, then I will destroy your world and overrun it with my most powerful creations. I was like, well, I already killed all your people. And now I'm gonna kill you. He was like, no. What? You can't. I'm God. Hold on, sorry. There we go. I was like, no. I am truly God. So then, I beat up Woody. And when he was helpless, I absolutely murdered him. And he was like, no. I will fight no more. Forever. I was like, you cannot quote Chief Joseph. He's my goat. But then I ran away, making him think that he was safe. But I grabbed him, and he joined fake Papyrus in the lake. Then I come over to my boy John, and I was like, hey man, you should probably die. And he's like, whoa man, that's a little harsh. And I was like, I'm kidding, but stay like that. Anyways, I then went over to summon a new Sans, Skeleton, and Papyrus. And they had a really fun time together. Papyrus and Sans and the weird skeleton imposter eventually fused. But then Godzilla was like, "What did you guys do to my brother? He may have been evil, but he wasn't. He didn't have to be killed." So then Godzilla started having an outrage on on these poor civilians who didn't do anything to harm his brother at all. But he heard the news that his brother had been killed, and he assumed that it was them because they kinda sucked. Because they were not grateful for him saving them at all. So, Godzilla rampaged through everything in his path, even almost killing me. And then he made it to town, and all chaos broke loose. Once Godzilla made it to the town, he started absolutely destroying everything in his path, including the lives of innocent people. But due to Godzilla absolutely rampaging, he became a weird pod that would go on to destroy all the innocent people that he thought killed his brother. And then he flew into space. And then he really had it. So he became a bunch of Godzillas. And then he exploded into many. But then, guess what? A T-Rex came to fight them. This T-Rex was like no other. He had special powers. And with a short fly in a circle, two of the Godzillas were out of this world. And then this one was like, I have special powers too! And then he formed himself above a building. Little did he know that would lead to his demise. And then the T-Rex was like, "Rah! Rah! 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 Rah!" to this one Godzilla. And then the Godzilla was like, mm, mm, rah!" And then the Godzilla was known as a disappointment because he then got flung out of this world. Then even the building tagged in to destroy the final Godzilla. But the final Godzilla was the actual good Godzilla. And the good Godzilla was like, no, please, I am a Sigma. And it's like, yeah, man, you're really not. So then, but then, Godzilla was so stubborn that he didn't die until the magical T-Rex had to clone himself. But little did he know that even the powers of a magical T-Rex could not truly defeat a Godzilla, as the magical T-Rex was flung out of this world. And Godzilla was like, that's what y'all get. Then Sans stepped in and was like, hey, bro, you're not being very chill. How about I murder you? Despite Sans' efforts, Sans was eventually flung out of this world. Out of this world. Uh-oh. I don't think I'm doing too hot. Out of this world. Okay. And then, well, this loser again said, don't worry, I'll take care of you. And then this loser got flung out of this world. And then all that was left in the world was one last magical building. The entire solar system depended on them until they got flung out of this world. So then, even I was frightened, so I cloned myself, and I went out of this world to fly away from the wrath of the evil Godzilla. And that is how I died in the lake. But Godzilla forgot that I was still God. So, but I was still planning to escape from Godzilla because he seriously frightened me. So, I had an escape plan. I am Steve. I like cheese was my final speech as I got prepared to, in fact, leave this world forever and travel to Saturn. As I built my floating raft, Godzilla said, oh no, little homie, you ain't going nowhere. I was like, try me. So then I pulled out my M9, and I let all hell break loose on Godzilla. Godzilla, however, did not budge. And then I proceeded to shoot my crate and say, work, please! I don't want to die from the wrath of big scary monster. So then, my raft slowly started working. Slowly. Like, really slowly. To the point where I was like, alright, you know what? This is gonna take forever. So it got flung. Guess where? Out of this world. Out of this world. Out of this world. Forget it. So, I began building my real raft. And then I planned to fly away to never return to this poopy bad planet ever again. As I planned to leave, I started realizing that I was just recreating the movie Up. And I had no floor inside. And then I had a feeling that Godzilla was going to kill me as he charged up his beam. Well, I shot him in the eye. Ow! Said Godzilla. Now I knew it was my chance. I had the chance to chance out of the chance with my chance. So, I got to work. I got a cardboard box. Never mind, that's not big enough. Got a chalkboard. I said, I'm done. I have to escape for my life. And then Godzilla said, you could save your life, but not my brother's. Aren't you supposed to be some god? I was like, yeah, but I don't want to deal with that. So, I finished my raft, and I floated away in peace, so that way Godzilla could never attack me again. Forever and ever and ever and ever. Forever and ever 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 and ever. And then I thought to myself, why play God? If all that happens in this world is death, without anything to prevent it. Forever and ever and ever and ever, forever and ever and ever and ever. Like, subscribe to my totally real YouTube channel because I do have a YouTube channel, but I'm not uploading this, so bye.